What is going on, everyone? My name is Boyd, and I am back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the bottom of the map in the blue color, playing as Hades. He's from the DoD clan, and his name is Joe. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Poseidon. His name is King Kong 666, but we're going to refer to him as Jelly because it's simply easier, and this is one of his actual names. This is a Shoutcast Sunday, nice and friendly matches between some of the best players on the old Voobly at the current time when I'm on, and those that can deal with my own lag. And it feels good, you know, it feels good. I got a face cam so you can see how good I feel. See, thumbs up, we going good. All right, Hades on Tundra, Poseidon on Tundra. Very exciting matchup. You know, you don't get to see this kind of thing very often, so it's hard to really predict what's going to happen. It looks like Jelly wants to go for a 3-town center classical age. Joe's probably going to be happy with that as well, but I don't think that's going to be the case here. Hades really strong early game because he has access to Athena and he can do some real brutal stuff early game. But also, Poseidon has access to Hermes and can completely nullify most of the stuff that Hades can do there. There's also options of Ares rushing, but no one's going to Ares rush a Hades. Once you chuck up the Sentinels and get up watchtowers, doesn't matter what you do, you just can't enter their base until you have siege weapons. And we see this very interesting storehouse placement here. Normally you want to be chucking it on the long side of the gold mine. You can see how the gold mine is sort of a rectangle. So interesting choice there by Joe. You can see the correct gold mine placement up here from Jelly, but that's going to be totally fine. It's not going to be that much of an issue until a little bit later in the game when you put more than, I think maybe like 4 villages here would be fine, but once you put 5, it's better to have side gold mines. He's also going to be chucking up some houses and maybe even going to try and get a bit of a wall set up there, so he's going to be fine from any of that early pressure. Maybe advance a little bit later even might be a vibe just to get some more economy going, because you shouldn't be too afraid of the stuff in your base. But we do see Joe moving out to these caribou a little bit early here. He's still got Auroch here, which he can eat a little bit later, and he's also got two Auroch here. I think it is a double Auroch. There should be maybe 2 over here as well. King Kong has not put up his lure yet, which is interesting. Wonder what the choice there, why that was the choice, but I guess you can wait a little bit. There's a lot of hunt here, and you don't really want it to steal anything from your home base until you grab these Aurochs. So maybe it's kill the Auroch and then put the lure down, so then you can grab as far away as possible. I've got no idea what they're saying here. We see the temple coming up now for Jelly, and the temple coming up now for Joe. These players like to advance fast. It's this new-ish meta where everybody who plays any god, if you're advancing basically after like 4:45. Generally speaking, it's a little bit on the slow side, and you can get really punished by someone advancing super fast and grabbing early town centers. There's no way to really punish that if you advance really late. So everyone's been advancing quite early. We do see Theseus coming out, and then he's probably going to be hitting that next age fairly soon. You can see Jelly's getting close. Maybe going to have enough with that Theseus being finished there. And we do see he is trying his build orders a little bit out there. He's short a couple of food, maybe too many villagers on wood there, too many villagers on gold as well. So that's why I was a little bit short there. And it is looking like he wants to think about grabbing the second town center, which put 5 villagers on gold, 5 villagers on wood. You're going to be able to advance and grab that town center immediately. We do see Athena as the god of choice for Joe here, and Hermes is the god of choice for Jelly. With 6 villagers and 5 villagers on gold. Again, Joe looks like he could be doing exactly the same thing, but there's lots of different options. You can always just chuck up 3 military buildings, even though that's not kind of not what happens anymore. You can throw up 3 or 4 military buildings and go for very strong aggression, but generally speaking, these large amounts of villagers on wood mean early second town centers. We do see Athena. Here's Athena coming through. Minotaur's out. And the villagers are getting a little bit of harass here, but they're going to be going for this town center. It's going to be completely fine. Gets the Ajax out, send that guy forward. Come over here, fight this Theseus off. I've also got the Minotaur. A little bit of daggers going back here, and this Theseus is just kind of being a little bit of a pain, but not going to get too much. Not even going to pick off a villager. There is one low HP villager, but he has to bash away at that a couple of times. And a couple of free hits on the Minotaur, but he's going to be fine. Just going to be jabbing away at Theseus, getting him off that town center. Surprised to see the Hippolyta coming out first here. We do grab the Anvil of Hephaestus, which is huge. That's a relic which you don't want to see going in the way of anyone apart from yourself. We do see the Centaur does manage to pick off one villager, but for the cost of one Centaur, it's not really worth it. He accidentally clicked on the Elk there, which is gonna really hurt losing that Centaur. The Minotaur getting a little bit of damage from Hippolyta, but should be able to get away from this, not dying, and Ajax just going to be chasing Theseus around for just a little bit longer. We've got the Sentinels coming up. Thank you so much for the follow. Muzaffar, I can't say your name, and GK Len, appreciate that one. My friends, you guys are the best. More granaries coming up. Second town center for Jelly. Walls as well. Not seeing any military buildings just yet. It's okay to kind of go a little bit slow when your opponent goes for later town centers. You can see Joe sometimes abuses this really, really well and sometimes completely misjudges it. And this game looks like he is going to be on the more correct side of things here, grabbing the second town center, maybe even looking to grab a early third town center might be the right option here. Thank you for the follow. Rusted Brains, appreciate that one so much. Got the gold mines coming in still. Still only with 4 villagers. Again, that was totally fine. And I mean, we can also move up to this gold mine. So maybe this was I was going to say maybe this is a conscious decision, knowing that he's only going to be putting so many villagers on this gold mine, but it just seems like it would have been better here anyways as part of the wall. Not sure. Another granary coming up, but only for 1 elk. Must have thought there was more here. That's unfortunate for him. But the double stables coming in, so that's interesting. Normally you see 1 stable, 1 archery range in these Greek matchups, simply because you kind of don't want to produce that many Hippocon. You only want to get a couple out, and you get a bunch of Toxote out, and use your more so use your Hippocon as meat shields or distraction fire, while the rest of your Toxote take or deal all the damage. But we're seeing mass Hippocon here for Jelly, and again we're seeing third town center here for Joe. So like we were saying, Joe is going to be sitting on that edge as much as possible on the edge of living and dying here. So he's going to be basically just making villagers, but being Hades, he's got the advantage of having stronger buildings. You can see the town center does 14 damage as opposed to the 12 damage of the Poseidon town center. You also have sentinels, which also help out quite a bit. He's got a nice defensive base here with this gold mine here and this gold mine here. Lots of different places he can fall back on. But unfortunately, this hunt source is not going to be that useful. We do see that the Minotaur does manage to pick up 1 Hippocon here, and this fight is sort of going to be going in the favor of Jelly, but Jelly just about to lose that Theseus. We do see, I like that play there from Joe. He's actually decided to leave the Theseus alive at 4 HP, and that means you can't actually rebuild him. We're seeing a watchtower coming up for Joe as well. This is going to force Jelly back without having to build any military buildings here. This is going to mean that the villager count from Joe is just going to get even further ahead, and also garrison inside of this watchtower, and Crenellations is coming through. Again, leaving that Theseus up just a little bit longer here, and that's just going to basically mean that he's going to die instantly in one of the fights that matters, instead of dying and then getting rebuilt for for extra HP, basically. We're seeing these trees trying to get chopped down and trying to save these villages as best as possibly can, and it actually works there. We see them. I think that might have been a little bit of tree delete. I'm not sure if that's a thing. I know it's a thing in Age of Empires 2, but Maybe he deleted the tree there so he could get through by building a wall segment. Maybe that's something we need to get checked out there, patch team. Not sure if that's intended. And now we're seeing these Hippocon are just going to melt like flies to these watchtowers. Joe, I actually really like this as a way of playing this 3-town center strategy, but Joe's getting housed here. He needs to build some houses. Unfortunately, you can see he's sitting at 65 population. King Kong's going to be just a little bit ahead with 94, but that's just because he's built so many of these Hippocon. If you take these by 2, and then that's 22, take 22 off of the, or that's actually not, you're going to take 11 off of that, so it's actually not that big of a deal. I mean, it is that big of a deal, but that's mostly just because Joe's been housed for so long. Unfortunately, he's just like so used to playing Egyptian that Egyptian get free houses and you don't have to build them as you go. You just chuck them all down and you're done. Unfortunately, Joe getting bit in the bum just a little bit here. Walls coming up, and that's going to protect these watchtowers. We're seeing this is a really defensible location here for Joe. But Joe has spent, what is this, 600 wood, 300 gold, 150 food, 150 wood on crenellations, and then 200 wood, 100 gold on watchtowers. So it's quite a bit of resources to defend this location. So the question you have to ask him is, spending all of that in order to keep his villagers safe going to get him further enough ahead in terms of resources gathered that Jelly is not going to be in a decent enough position, or the similar position. Now he's got his 3rd town center up and going. This means that Joe is no longer going to be getting ahead on the economy. So his villager situation right now is going to stay even until we hit 80, unless Jelly manages to pick up a couple of villagers here. We are seeing him going for this watchtower. Unfortunately, Joe has not managed to wall that in. You can just chuck up a couple of wall segments around, and it's really easy to keep those guys alive. And this watchtower as well, you want to keep that one alive. We're seeing Jelly just run around with his army, and Joe just like has not built one single military unit outside of his heroes just yet. This is scary if you're. I mean, he's going straight for the heroic age, maybe even going straight for the mythic age. But this is super scary if you're Joe. You have to worry about so many different things, but his base and his map is so defensible that all of these watchtowers, it just means that you just can't come through this way. So he gets access to a gold mine, he gets access to all these trees and farms you can just farm for days. And he can simply just go straight to the mythic age because he's been booming for so long. He's been booming since like 7 minutes into the game. He's had 3 town centers. It's a super interesting strategy here from Joe. We'll see what happens here. He does have to be concerned if he loses this gold mine. Then this one is actually much less protected than this gold mine. We have a sentinel, we have town center, and we have 3 watchtowers. Whereas this one here, if you just get a couple of Hippocon onto both of these watchtowers, you can push through and then claim this gold mine. But maybe that's not something that Joe's too concerned about. Seeing even more watchtowers here. Aphrodite does come through for Jelly. So Jelly's a little bit in front of the tech game here, even though he's been producing an army. Really well played so far from Jelly in order to stay competitive here. But Joe's economy right now is really, really strong. We'll see if Jelly can find anything here. Do we see a market coming up straight away? If we check out the resources, we've got enough resources for Joe to go straight to the next stage, but we also have enough resources for Jelly to go straight to the next stage. And we do see the market coming up. It's not actually the best trade route. It's going to be able to come from this corner to maybe this town center here. And I guess that's kind of the best you're going to get, but maybe if you could chuck your market here would be the other position, but I guess this is the best you've got. It's not the best map for trading. We just did the Nemean line coming out, and it looks like Joe's going to be trying to pick up a couple of units here, dealing that damage. So there we go. The market is coming up now for Joe. If you check out his economy, he's just going to trade some of that gold away, get the food, and then start advancing. I'm assuming we're just going to see Hephaestus. Artemis maybe is the right play here, but I'm not sure about it. Considering he's played so defensively, he's got time in his hands in terms of how long he can just survive with all of these watchtowers. before Siege comes in and all of that other junk. We do see Masons is through, and we're probably going to see Architects as well as a defensive measure against Earthquake as well. Because Earthquake, I think, does like a set amount of HP in terms of how much damage it does. And so if you can get Architects, it's really, really good. We did see that Jelly's going to be stopping this though. He does manage to take out this tower, seeing more watchtowers getting thrown down. Did we get the building upgrade? We haven't got the building upgrade just yet. Needs to get maybe more favor. Yeah, he doesn't have the favor in there just yet. Oh, there it goes. Divine Blood coming through. That's going to be able to get those watchtowers up even faster. Maybe Joe's going for simply no military buildings whatsoever and trying to just win with just siege and towers. That'd be quite cute. We are seeing the units moving in. We've got guard towers coming in. Super early guard tower tech, but these are going to deal so much damage. You don't want to be moving in with these units just yet. You need to get out those Heliopoli and do all that other thing. We see Artemis is also coming through for Jelly. Slightly faster for Joe. And Joe can chuck this down over here. There's no fortified town centers. There is Masons, but if he chucks the Earthquake on this location, he's maybe going to be able to pick off the fortress and also the town center. We'll see if that is the case or not. Are we finally going to start seeing some military buildings getting thrown down? Nope. Nothing just yet. We've got the Chimera coming through. No, not that many villages on favor, just the one. So where is all of Joe's economy going? That is the question. We do see that, there he goes, the Earthquake's in, does manage to pick off a bunch of stuff here. Using the Restoration as a defensive maneuver, unfortunately not going to help him out too much, does lose the fortress. And I'm surprised we didn't see the Earthquake sort of like as soon as we hit the Mythic Age there for Joe, because the longer you wait, the more upgrades your opponent can get, which means the more stuff you lose when he uses it. But if Jelly keeps fighting underneath these guard towers without access to siege, it's going to be a lot of dead units. Chimera as well does so much damage. Here we go, Earthquake, it does come down. You'll be able to pick off the fortress, maybe grab the town center as well. No, only going to do about half damage there. It's fortified town centers plus Masons is enough to stop that one. We also see Chimera in here at this point. Going to deal a little bit of damage here, but looks like the fight going to sort of go in the favor of the other Chimera. But as Jason comes in, he's going to be able to finish that one off. Petropoli in here as well, starting to siege away at what Joe's got, but still no military buildings, just guard towers. A little bit memey if you ask me, but we'll see if it pays off for him. He still needs to get out something in order to defend here. There's so many militia that Earthquake gave him, and you can just throw them away, basically, and they're free units. We are seeing Fortress coming up now, a second Fortress. It's going to mean even more siege stuff is going to come out. We've got a Fortress now coming up for Joe. Probably going to start building some of those Heliopoli. And we've got more walls coming up now for Joe. He's actually kind of lost map control in a way. He hasn't managed to set up his walls through the middle of the map. So we are seeing some of the map getting lost here as Jelly's moving his villages forward in order to do those good things and just like maintain the map. Or Petropoli sieging away at the towers. He's going to be able to move in here. Just having out like a bunch of Toxote at this point. He could just completely just slow push, start throwing up your own watchtowers as well would be an option. I guess if you have the resources for it. Doesn't really. Joe's sitting at 1,500 food and 2k wood. He's just going to be building as many of these towers as he can. Heliopoli are coming out though, so this is where units start being able to fight back if you're just going for siege weapons. And here we go, finally throwing up some archery range as Joe decides it's been 18 minutes into the game, 19 minutes into the game. It's time to make some military units. I love it, I love it. Realizes he cannot defeat the Petropoli spam. Once you have so many of these, it's actually better to just buy engineers than get more. You really do need engineers. This fortified town center is strong as well. He's got architects, he's got crenellations, he's got fortified town centers, and he's got Hades buildings. Did he dump in the relic? He did dump in the relic, so he's going to be able to get cheap armory upgrades at 135. Just imagine if he went through Hephaestus and got even cheaper armory upgrades on top of that. You'd be like basically free. Now we've got all of these Toxicity trying to pick off the Heliopoli, but Heliopoli counter these Petropoli pretty nicely, and it's really only the Hippocon doing anything. You can see, if you can get the attacks on, it does do a little bit of damage. It's not as much as you'd think, but does manage to basically almost pick that one off. So that's a decent trade at this point. We've got Perseus coming out, but there aren't really that many what do you call it, myth units out at this point. Poseidon and Hades have some of the slowest favor gather rate in the game, so they can't get out that many at all. Seeing the Petropoli moving in yet again, taking out some of these guard towers. Toxicity are starting to come out. He's got a lot of military buildings at this point. Auto Q coming through, going to start spamming these guys. And there's been a lot of units that Jelly's thrown away, but his armor upgrades are on par with Joe at this point, which is really, really good. So if he can keep pumping those out, losing not so many more units, he's going to be in a decent position. It's like, the big story is that Joe's been losing all of these resources in buildings here. I'm a little bit surprised by seeing the Petropoli target the building foundations rather than actual guard towers. I'm not sure how it works, but I know siege ships deal less damage to like docks, like building foundations. I think siege units don't have that negative multiplier. I think it's fine to target those. We are seeing that the Sentinel's trying to get taken down, but he's a small boy. He's hard to hit. You can see them missing quite a bit. But once they start hitting a couple of times, they hit most of those Petropoli pellets do flood in. Now we've got Polyphemus coming through. He's going to be able to deal with these Heliopoli fairly decently. More Hippocon coming through. If I am also playing against something like this, you want to stop building Hippocon as soon as you start seeing towers. These die so fast. What does this do? This is like 100% bonus damage against cavalry. It's ridiculous. You're already dealing like 28 damage. Then that's 42 damage. And it's hitting every single time once these are targeting down Hippocons. So you want to just switch straight into like Hoplite or something. Yeah, basically switch into Hoplite in order to keep pushing with those military units. Not sure if anything else works very well. Not sure. And we've got the Heliopoli. Does get picked off. Town center sitting in a decent position here. Maybe we want to get some villagers over here to start repairing that one. And Joe's just a little bit of salt in the wounds here, saying his town center is too strong. But it doesn't matter at this point. If Jelly keeps up this pressure and his economy hasn't been touched, he's going to be okay here. He can keep putting the pressure on, keep getting those Petropoli out. Maybe not Heliopoli. If you get these watchtowers up, get guard towers researched, and you can just sit in this position, and then eventually you're going to be able to pick off the town center. It's got nice walls here to stop any sort of side build. Need to finish this wall off over here. Otherwise, Joe can send some villagers forward and maybe cause some strife over here as a distraction. So need to get on top of that one there. But it doesn't matter at this point. We're still going to be making this push forward. We do see already some of this side build is going on here for Joe. We've got the villagers moving on to the town center, getting those guys repaired. More Heliopoli coming through, engineers coming through as well. That one's going to be really, really big when it comes, when it gets researched. Town center, yet again, sitting in a good position with so much HP at 5,040 maximum HP compared to the 3,920 maximum HP of Jellyfish's or Poseidon's town center. And here we go, the Toxicity, the siege. It's huge, it's beautiful. Joe might want to consider stopping production of the Toxicity for half a minute so he can get champion Toxicity. He's not really losing them, he's only really losing the Heliopoli. He doesn't really have the resources to produce those. Like you can see here, a little bit of 0% on them, as you can see. A little bit slow there. The Burning Pitch has come through, so now these Toxicity do a little bit of damage to those Heliopoli, even though it's still not that much. Not sure how much it really matters here. I don't even know if it gives any sort of bonus. So yeah, I don't think it gives that much of a bonus to Heliopoli beside the crush damage. The extra crush damage that it gives. Does it give crush damage? I'm so confused. 20% ballista crush damage? No. Archer damage versus ships? No. Carabal's damage versus buildings? No. Archer ship. Archer damage versus buildings? I don't think you classify Heliopoli as buildings, as Hagrid confirms in the chat. It's not worthwhile to get. It looks cool. It looks like they do something, but apart from the extra little bit of damage they give on anything, no, I'm not even sure it gives any help. Unlucky there. But I guess the Heliopoli might get a little bit of help from them. They get the ballista bonus damage or whatever it is from Burning Pitch, but it doesn't say it's affected. It doesn't say it's affected. Who knows? Alright. Joe's still sitting in a decent position. He just has to somehow deal with this, and he's going to be able to do so with the Heliopoli, with engineers. He needs to figure out a way to deal with his Hippogriff just a little bit better. Maybe some more guard towers forward. Get those guys up. How's the population looking for both players? He's sitting a little bit behind for Joe. He's got maybe too many villagers on food. Just take them off, put them over onto wood. You're going to be running out of wood. You got heaps of wood. Not going to be for a little while now. But Joe has managed to start Joe has managed to start taking down quite a few of these watchtowers here. As I don't think he's got architects yet. Still hasn't got architects. It's really important. Get that upgrade. And I think the big issue here is for Jelly is he's just throwing away units. There's no real reason for him to be positioned here. He can move back. He can position back here, or he could have, and just got out his Petropoli. Force Joe to sit under here, and at least then you're not taking town center fire. You're not taking guard tower fire. And you can just sit back and then and let your towers basically do what Joe's doing to Jelly here. Feels good, man. Feels good. But more guard towers coming out. More watchtowers falling down. Now we've got Petropoli out for Joe as well, so he's going to be able to deal quite a bit of damage to these guys. Town center's getting repaired finally here, but that's fine. I think Jelly realizes he's going to be hurting just a little bit. There's so many Toxidae here. And Joe's sitting at 160 population. It's a really, really good position for him right now. Thank you so much for the follow. I am Wise. Appreciate that one, my friend. We got more Petropoli out finally again for Jelly here. But now the Architects of Joe is enough to basically pick these guys off. Seeing a little bit of micro here, but nothing too specific. If the Toxidae are going to start maybe picking these guys off as well, there's some really low HP Petropoli. Maybe a couple of Hoplite would be useful. Maybe some villagers need to get up here and start repairing this town center, but I think they should be able to take all of this out fairly quickly. And these fortresses will start falling, and the watchtowers as well. Joe's going to be in the advantage at this point, so Jelly has to think about what he can do now to stay in the game. He does get access to a bunch of these militia, but they're all going to die very, very quickly to these champion Toxidae. We've got some Chimera out as well. It's going to force out some heroes, and you can see once he does that flaming breath, a lot of these guys die very, very fast. Very, very fast indeed. More guard towers. Loves those guard towers. Feels good, man. Feels good. Feels dirty, but it feels good. Still there. There's the Perseus. Oh, a little bit of lag. Unfortunate. But Perseus is going to come out. He's going to be able to pick off this Chimera. The Chimera does a lot of damage to these Petropoli. And the Petropoli are taking down Fortress. If he loses both of these Fortress, he loses all siege pushing ability, which, you know, might be a good thing. I feel like maybe Jelly's done a little bit too much economy. He just doesn't have that many units out. He's sitting at 160 of 160 population. He just doesn't have that many, does he? Oh, he's got so many donkey caravans. It's like he's playing Egyptian or something. But yeah, he needs to maybe sack some villagers, run those guys in, try and target down the Petropoli. We see Perseus picking up a Chimera there. That's got to feel good. But Perseus is just about to fall. Fortress did fall just before then as well. Absolutely beautiful. Feels good. Feels great indeed. Yes, indeedy. Try and get these watchtowers back up when you have this much siege. It's really hard. Get these villagers to take out the Heliopoli and just keep building your villages. Replace them. Use them as army when your opponent's building siege. Always good, always good. But just gonna get these, try and get the push forward. If you can get guard towers here, then you can start making an attack on this Fort Town Center. If you can't get them there, it's gonna be a slow process. But he's trying, and he's stopping all siege right now for Jelly. And there's no fortress anywhere, I don't think. He's trying to get it back up. He's got a couple of villages on it. Does he have to find blood? Whoop. Yeah, he does. So it will go up pretty fast. But there's so many Petropoli here. So it's 7 Petropoli. Maybe some walls might be an idea to throw down as well. Boom. Wall. Ceasefire goes down. Jelly says, okay, bored. GG, well played by Joe. It was interesting. It was interesting, but I don't know if this is actually like a work. Maybe it works. Not sure. I'm not sure I'm sold. Hades is definitely one of the one of the strongest gods at doing this. Joe's saying, you said not to attack, so I defend. Nice one. Well played. Yeah, I think Joe does need more walls. Hell good. Tell Joe to play versus Uranus now. Who's King Kong? King Kong is Jelly.